Good afternoon. We're here with Coach Vernon Bland, head coach of softball here at Prairie View A&M. Coach, how are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm great. So let's talk a little bit about, we're doing our season wrap-up, so let's talk about your season overall and then your trip through the postseason and what you have coming up next. So your season overall was a good season.
Yeah, we actually had a pretty good season. We set the records for the most wins in the history of the program with 30 wins. We beat some teams that Prairie View or SWAC teams hadn't beaten before, like Wichita State and Southern Illinois at Edwardsville. So I think we had a pretty good season. It didn't end the way we expected, but we have to take the victories as they come. I tell my team, in every game, it's something that you can, gain from it. So 30 wins is nothing to, shake your head at and be upset about.
That's a really strong season.
Right.
So in the postseason, let's talk a little bit about how that went.
Well, we started off pretty well. We won our first two games, and the weather was kind of bad, so they changed the schedule, and we ended up playing two games in one day when we thought we were just going to play one. But I don't think that was an issue. I mean, we lost Alabama State 3-2, and we gave them three unearned runs. We actually picked the worst time to have our worst game. That was we gave them all three runs. They didn't earn any runs. Crystal Castillo pitched a great game. Shouldn't have lost it, but it's how things work out. And then the next day we ended up losing to Texas Southern. Same thing. We had some unearned runs, and that's the way the ball bounces sometimes. Last year in the tournament, everything went our way, and this year it just didn't fall that way.
Right. Well, this year you also had 9 seniors. You have a big graduating class. That's almost half a starting line right there.
Right. So we lost 9 graduated. 1 will be back next year as a grad student. So, other than having the 30 wins, that's also a great accomplishment to have that many seniors to graduate on time. We actually had 2, Kiera Ross and Shelby Williams, that were engineer majors, which is a 5-year program, and they graduated in 4 years with over 3-point GPA. So
that's excellent.
That's also part of the program. Of course, everybody loves to win, but student athlete is the term that everybody uses, and so those young ladies definitely practice that.
It sounds like they really made sure that the student part was part of the athlete part.
Oh yeah, they're without a major pro league to go to. That's the thing, they have to graduate in so they can move on in life.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about what you're looking forward to for this upcoming season. Your schedule isn't out yet, but you've started your recruiting process. So talk to us a little bit about what you're looking forward to in this group, in this recruiting class, in terms of replacing your graduating players.
Well, we're bringing in, I believe, 12 new players, and so it's going to be interesting to kind of start over per se. I've had this graduation class all 4 years, and so it's going to be interesting to see how we can mesh this team together and continue this upward path we're going on. We have some young ladies coming in that I believe could potentially come in as starters, and also from the team this year we have some young ladies that played a lot this year, so they should hopefully continue to get better and like I say, keep us going upward.
Right. Seems like one of the things that you worked on this season was that culture and making sure to have that really strong team culture, but that culture of winning. Talk to us about why that matters for a softball team.
Yeah, that's something that we had to really work on, because we had some years that we were down, and we just had to change that culture and believing in what the coaching staff was saying, like as the new term is, trust the process. And so they just bought into what we were trying to do, and a championship and 30 wins in the last 2 years, that shows proof that, maybe we know what we're talking about.
You might have a couple of ideas that work.
Right.
Well, that's important. Well, talk to us a little bit about, you've got some big news around some draft candidates. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Destinee Williams and Laurisa Hernandez names will be placed in the draft for the ASBA softball league June 5th. So if drafted, they will be the first 2 players to be drafted from Prairie View in the history of the program. And even I'm sure they will be drafted, but even if they didn't, the fact that they were even put in the draft is a great accomplishment for those 2 young ladies who worked their tails off all 4 years. Well, actually 5. They both were 5th-year seniors due to injuries, and so they're just the epitome of what our program has become.
It must be a wonderful accomplishment for you, though, to be able to say that. And that Prairie View's had a long history as a softball school.
All right, this we'll definitely be using that in our recruiting pitch that we can't get you drafted. So, yeah, again, this is a major accomplishment. You know, my coaching staff, Coach Lane and Coach Bex, have did a wonderful job with those young ladies as well. So, say hopefully we can continue, and maybe this is something that this league will continue to look at our players as potential draft prospects.
Right. Well, congratulations on that. I believe I remember from a previous interview that these ladies have been with you their entire time here at Prairie View.
These ladies are. So they came in as freshmen. Destinee ended up getting hurt her sophomore year, and Laurisa got hurt her freshman year. So they have been around for a while. It's going to really be hard to replace them. I was telling my coaches that I'm going to have to go up and introduce myself to this next year team because this is the first year that we've had this many players come in and since Destinee's freshman year. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, it's a lot to look forward to in the spring. So before we go, do you have any final words you want to share with the fans out here in PV Nation?
Just for the fans that came out and supported us, thank you, and we appreciate it, and go Panthers.
Excellent. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
One more time.